All right, TCF family, join me in congratulating Bracken for being November's Member of the Month. Congratulations.
Thank you, Joe.
Been a long time coming, right? No. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So we moved here from New England about a year ago, and I've owned 6 houses over my life, moving a lot for work. Ended up in the New York City area, working down in the Wall Street tip of Manhattan for about 15 years, and then bounced between New Jersey and Massachusetts for the last 20 years, and then moved down here finally last year.
Nice. So what brought you out of New England? Was it work or?
Family, actually, yeah. So we had moved up in 2019. We had moved up to Massachusetts again, and then the pandemic hit. So we got stuck up there with no family, no friends, anything. And while our immediate family was obviously there, we realized that we needed to be by people that we loved and knew. So my wife has a sister and her kids and husband down here, so we've been coming here for like 20 years and decided that it was time to do it. And the bank I was working for at the time allowed us to move down here, so we went and did it.
Yeah, cool.
Should have come here a long time ago.
Yeah, heck yeah. Should have came here a long time ago, then we would have had you sooner, right?
I can annoy everybody even more at 5 a.m.
But yeah, tell us like about your like age, your usual class time, fitness story.
I'm not telling you how old I am.
Okay.
No.
You can guess.
I'm
right?
old, yeah. Compared to most of the folks in here that we work out with, everybody's young. I'm the old dinosaur, but I have more energy than most.
Heck yeah. I mean, especially at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Exactly.
Was it you come in and I know when you're coming in because I can hear you talking like as you're coming in the door and stuff. I mean, how are you so lively that early in the morning?
It's my social hour. When I'm not traveling for work, I work from home, so I'm kind of isolated, if you will, and not a lot of I'll say friend-human interaction. So the 5 a.m. is kind of my social hour, and what really makes it that are the people that are here, and that I get to do this with. So we've got our regular crew that comes at 5 a.m. and, you know, between Becky and Jean and Tim and Eddie and everybody else and Kevin, I mean, it's just the same crew, and we've gotten to know each other. We know about our families, and we've got our phone numbers between all of us, and we rib each other and text each other and support each other, and it's just become like a second family.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I mean, it's like not a whole lot of people would just randomly, because people like will ask about class times and stuff. I'm like, yeah, there's the 5 a.m. and then it's like always the same people that come, because you don't just randomly wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and decide to go to the gym, right? I mean, other class times you may have people that have shifted around, but 5 a.m. it's like the same people.
For the most part, yeah. It's the same kind of core 5 or so people that are always here, with a few that are in and out, but but you've got to be a little different to come at 5 a.m. every day.
Heck yeah. You either got to have like a really busy day, or you got to have a little something loose in
That's
your
right.
head, right? No.
Well, with 3 kids and all that kind of stuff, you got to, you know, pick your times that you can go and pick your battles. So 5 a.m. works for me. I'm working before 7. And it's beyond the social hour and stuff. We work hard. We have a lot of fun. But we work hard, and we rib each other, we support each other, we yell at each other. I wonder who does that.
Middle of the workout. Come on, guys, let's go.
Exactly. Hey, we give and we get. I mean, everybody helps me. There's more workouts that or mornings I'm not into it, and people just pick you up. We help each other put our weights away and support each other, and it's a ton of fun.
Well, I mean, one of the fun things about the 5 a.m. is like you're always late. And so it's like, wow. And what was it? There was one week where you showed up that whole week like 5 or 10 minutes early, and then we were like, Bracken, what's wrong? And then you're like, next week it'll be back to normal.
Exactly. It's called a snooze button, Joe. It's a snooze button. It's just, I don't go to bed till 10 or 11 o'clock at night, so I definitely don't get enough sleep, and maybe it's just being overtired, but
just hit it at a little
between
too
the
much.
Talkativeness, right? Exactly, and coming in, but it's hitting snooze, and hey, I show up. What more do you want from me?
Hey, yep, that's all that matters. You made it in the door, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so, tell us a little bit about like your fitness background. I know that you've played hockey, and then you've been doing CrossFit for just a little bit. But like, what else outside of that, and dive into a little bit more of that hockey stuff.
Great question. So, yeah, I played hockey all over. It's really all I lived for when I was a kid. I played in high school. I think I played my freshman year. I played on my high school team. I played on a travel team. I skated with my two younger brothers' teams. So any chance I got to get on the ice, I got on the ice. I was an All-American in high school my senior year. And there was a showcase in Boston called Hockey Night in Boston, where people like Jeremy Roenick, Mike Modano played. I mean, all sorts of really famous people that ended up being famous people, and I was the leading scorer for that tournament that summer, and ended up score stood up for like 20 years or something.
Holy crap!
Before it was broken, yeah. So it was pretty cool.
Dang. And so, do you still play hockey?
Not anymore. Too old, too tired, too fat.
No.
Too much going on.
No, but how long did you play hockey for?
I mean, I played in through college. I stopped playing partway through college because I wasn't on a scholarship and just had enough of the BS that I was dealing with, and decided to enjoy part of my college life as a college student. And then I played pickup hockey for a lot of years after that, probably 10, and coached some youth teams and that kind of stuff. But
Dang.
yeah, it was a great way to grow up and a great sport.
And how'd you get into hockey? Was that just because of New England stuff, and then it's super popular up there and all that?
I started kind of late for up there. I was 6 years old, actually.
That's
cousin.
late?
Yeah, that's late for hockey.
Jeez.
So my cousin, who's 2 or 3 years older than me, had been playing, and I remember he came to the town where I lived, and I remember going public skating with him, and for the first time, and learning to skate, and I was hooked ever since.
That's crazy. I mean, how is 6 years old too late to start hockey? Like, what's the usual age to start?
I mean,
like
there's
3,
kids
4?
out there that can barely walk and are
skating.
skating. Yeah, 3 or 4. I mean, I know you walk a lot earlier than that, but I mean, yeah.
That's crazy. And so your cousin kind of got you interested in skating, and then that led you into hockey?
Yep. Well, he was already playing hockey because
Okay.
he was a bit older, but that's where I first started, was just at a public skate, and then took off from there.
Do you still kind of follow it now? Like, do you have a favorite team that you
Nope,
follow, or
baseball.
no?
Baseball's my thing. I love watching baseball.
Why'd you make the change? You're like, what was it, like you were all in on hockey, and then now you're like, okay, I need to find something else new? Or
No, I think it was that lost love. I loved hockey so much that I just couldn't deal with, for a while there, just couldn't deal with watching it at all.
it's like heartbreak?
A little bit of a heartbreak, yeah. And I played baseball in high school as well. I was a pitcher, and I've just always enjoyed following it. Yankees are my team. Sorry, folks. When I was 10 years old, my grandparents took us, or I think it was just me, took me down to Yankee Stadium from upstate New York on a Senior Citizens bus tour. And so I guess that was in 1980-ish. Well, that just told you how old I am. But so that was back when you could walk up and, at the outfield wall and get autographs and all that. I mean, it was just something you can't forget. And being this white-eyed, bushy-tailed, blue-eyed kid from upstate New York, seeing the Bronx. I mean, never seen anything like that, right, at that kind of age. So it was pretty freaking cool. And I've just hooked on baseball ever since.
That's crazy. And so, kind of that coming out of hockey and coming into CrossFit, how'd you get into the CrossFit side of things?
So I did a lot of, when I started losing weight again, we're not talking about that whole piece, but probably in 2016, 17, when we moved back to New Jersey from Massachusetts, I found a local place. It was called Sets. It was one of those hybrid HIIT places, and kind of like here, was a family-oriented thing, and just work hard, play hard, have fun. And when we moved back to Massachusetts in 19, I couldn't really find anything like that. So then the pandemic hit, and we stopped going to a gym for a while. So this Thanksgiving will be 2 years. I just found a place up there that was 10 minutes from my house, kind of like here, and started going, and then fell in love with it and moved here. And I found TCF before we even bought the house when we moved down here.
So like you knew that you had to move in this area just because of TCF, right?
That's right. Exactly.
You're like, we know we're going to the Raleigh area, but it's got to be this little area because it's got to be around
That's
TCF.
Right.
That's cool, man. And then so you brought your whole family down here and stuff, and I know that, like something that the coaches were kind of talking about is that all of your sons are adopted.
Yep. So we, wife is diabetic, and we were a little bit older when we met, so decided that we weren't going to have our own kids for her health reasons and theirs, and we adopted. Crazy stories, we could spend the next 2 hours talking about that, but my youngest son and my middle son are actually biological brothers. So
Really?
Same mom, same dad.
Okay.
And we were done with two. Charlie's my middle boy. When we had just moved back to Boston in 2008.
Okay.
And less than 2 years later, the birth parents asked us if we wanted Nicky. He's over there. Mm-hmm. We had said no, and they were working with somebody else, and something happened where it fell through, and we didn't have a home study. All we had was a crib. We were saving a crib that we were going to give to my youngest brother who had just gotten engaged, and they said either you come get him or the state's coming to get him.
Uh-oh.
And they lived in Michigan, and the next thing we knew, like a month later, he was in our house, and it's been awesome ever since.
That's crazy. And so like there, besides just like kind of being older and health issues, there wasn't any other reason not any other reason, but like that was the main driving reason for kind of the adoption and stuff.
Yep. And we knew we wanted kids, so that's just the route we chose to go.
That's cool. And then so you said the two younger ones are biological and the older one isn't biological or anything?
No, completely separate. Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. And that all from the New England area?
Jonathan's birth mother was raised in New Jersey but had lived in Ohio. Charlie and Nicky's were Michigan.
Okay, cool. And then so tell us a little bit about like your Christmas Eve tradition and all that stuff, because I know the coaches were kind of talking about that, and I think it's kind of cool that you kind of passing it down to your kids and all that stuff.
So when we were younger, and I've got two younger brothers, my dad would, to give my mom a little bit of sanity on Christmas Eve, because it was always a zoo in our house leading up to Christmas, he would take us out of the house for the day, and we would go get some food. We would go shopping for my mom, and he would buy her whatever. When we were kids, we used to go to like a Walmart kind of place. I forget the name of it. And I remember my dad always had this stocking that was like this freaking big, right? And I remember filling it like he couldn't buy enough like presents for her that he would get her to put in there. So we would go there, and I remember buying like Post-its and paper clips and just like, Mom will like this, right? They're just throwing it in. And then we would always do, as we got older, we would go out and do like a lunch thing at a bar and have a drink when we were of age and that kind of stuff. And it was just something that ever since my kids were born, for the most part, a tradition that I've carried on. I remember when we got Nicky, the first year we were out at a restaurant pubby thing, and two boys, and he's in his carrier, right, and sitting on the table while we're eating some food. And I kind of morphed the tradition into a little bit of shopping, lunch, and then typically we would go see a movie. So whatever was kind of hot for a couple of years there were the Star Wars movies that came out right on Christmas Eve, so we would go and see those. And then more recently it was some of the Marvel superhero stuff that's been out. So whatever the kids kind of want to see, they argue until they can figure out what they're happy with, and we go do that and just have a nice time together.
Yeah, but I mean that's cool that that's a tradition that your parents started or your dad started, and then kind of you're now passing it down to your kids, and
hopefully they will too.
Hopefully it'll continue and stuff, right?
That's right, exactly.
That's cool. And so kind of getting back into CrossFit and stuff, what was your biggest challenge prior to joining the TCF family?
So I mean, weight has always been my kryptonite. When I was in 8th grade, I think I was this height and about 220 pounds, but I was a chunky monkey. But I was always the athletic kid that was the captain of the team and very whatever. But I've always had challenges keeping my mouth shut. Ha ha. Now we know why, right?
Yeah.
Good therapy session, Joe. Thanks. Weight's always been, I've always been up and down and really up at one point. But before I joined here, mobility's been a challenge for me. I was so heavy and played so many sports for so long, I ruined both of my hips. So in 19, I had my hips replaced.
At 19 years old?
No.
Oh, in 2019.
2019.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was about to say, holy crap,
No,
that's really young.
You'd have like 2 or 3 more replacements by then.
Jeez.
So I had both my hips replaced, and it's totally changed my life, because before I used to be cocked over because I couldn't even straighten my right leg. You would be amazed at the way I walked and the difference now. So
Well, I remember like just coming in and trying to get you to squat. I'm like lower, and then you're like,
oh,
I can't.
and so what that really leads to is my mobility. I mean, when I first started here at TCF, I couldn't do an overhead squat. I mean, you remember me being able to hold a
PVC
bar,
pipe or
right?
whatever,
Yeah, I had
yeah.
to use a PVC pipe. So everything from, cleans to deadlifting to bench pressing to, I love the mix between the weightlifting part and the cardio part. Because I don't like the bike or anything like that.
No,
Machines
you
I
hate it.
hate. Yeah, exactly.
You didn't bother me for like what was it, like the first 6 or 8 months that you were here? You're like, come on, we need some ski ergs. We need some ski ergs.
Yes, I did. You remember that.
Every single day, I remember you kept saying something about it. I'm like, okay, I guess we'll get some ski ergs.
And now we have them.
Yep, exactly. And everyone hates you for it now.
Yes, they do. No, they do not. Come on, it's fun. Work harder.
And then so kind of how'd that challenge make you feel? So how like the weight and all that stuff make you feel?
Listen, I love the mix between what we do here. We get some kind of down days, like yesterday was a very quick, intense workout, right? And it's not overly taxing. With my hips and all, I have to modify a lot of stuff. So, you guys are great at helping us out and giving us alternatives to use and do that kind of fit our specific needs or my specific needs, whether it's jumping or bending or squatting or
the thumb,
keeping
or
my
whatever
mouth
it is.
shut and not talking, right? Well, I still blame you for the thumb, but that's just my own. That's my own problem I have to deal with.
And then kind of, we already touched on this a little bit, but like kind of what all things changed after joining the TCF family. You said like you improved your mobility. You kind of have that social hour now with the 5 a.m. Yep. Any other kind of things that you've seen that has changed or anything like that after joining?
I've gotten so much stronger. It's unbelievable. I just can't believe, the definition and all in my arms and my upper body in particular. And if I can just keep my mouth shut from eating, not talking, then I'll get some of this COVID weight off of me. My dad passed away right at the start of COVID. And between being isolated and not being able to work out, I ate a lot. So I'm still trying to get off probably 40 or 50 pounds that I'm stuck with. So once I do that, then I think the mobility will really start to come back, and maybe my 5 a.m. crew will be able to entice me into actually doing a kipping pull-up, because I can't do one right now.
Well, you're awfully close. You're very
I'm close. Yeah.
I think
get 20 pounds off of me, and I think I'll have the strength from the two will kind of. Strength's going up, weight going down. The two will really
if you make yourself a little lighter, then ideally make a pull-up easier, right?
Exactly.
That's cool, man. And then what about we've talked about kind of how you've gotten stronger since working out at TCF and things like that, but like any other kind of specific impacts maybe within the gym that you've seen? Have you gotten any better at the bike or something like that?
How can I get any better at the bike, Joe? Come on,
I'm already
really?
the best, right? That was one thing that Carrie wanted me to ask you about, because when Logan was Member of the Month, she was like, ask him how or the reason why he's not allowed to lie on the ground after a workout or whatever.
Yep.
And so when you came up and you were nominated and stuff like that, she's like, okay, you need to ask the same question and stuff like that. So why are you not allowed to lie on the ground after a hard workout?
Because Carrie says so.
Or I think her reason, because I asked her initially, it was like y'all would push too hard, and then like immediately just like fall down and
Yep.
then lie down on the ground. It's like you're not supposed to do that.
Sign of weakness is
or
what she used to tell us.
something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's like you gotta get up and at least keep moving around, walk around. It doesn't
Yep.
need to be fast or anything, but
Yep. No, we got Logan there. Logan's my workout buddy, and I'm so sad that he left to go to college. I mean, I'm happy he's in college, but I'm sad that he left. He and I've had a really nice time, and we just did that CrossFit competition, as you know, with Sean.
Yeah.
But you know, he would just come out of the gate on the bike or whatever machine it was, and he would just go right, and I'd end up beating him because he'd peter out at the end, and I could go but pace myself appropriately.
yeah.
So we would work on that, and he would always just fall down on the ground, and Carrie would yell at both, and I would do the same thing. So you asked one thing that's improved. My cardio capacity has increased a lot, like to the point, and maybe it's because of what Carrie said, not laying down on the ground, or maybe because I work hard.
It's all because of Carrie, right?
Yeah, exactly. Did Logan ever tell you about the time I made him throw up on the bike?
What happened?
Yeah, he threw up on the bike. Yeah, he literally, I worked him so hard on the bike because he was trying to keep up with me that he got off the bike and went and threw up.
Was like you and him biking side by side, or were you like standing there yelling at him as
I
he
don't
was biking?
I can't remember yesterday, Joe. You want me to remember that? Come on.
That's cool. I mean, like that's cool about the CrossFit community and stuff, right? We're here to push each other, challenge each other, support each other, all that stuff.
And we do. It's just awesome. And there's folks that come in and you know aren't quite as in with us and that kind of stuff, and that's great. But we all support each other. It doesn't matter what level you're at. You know, there's people that are in here that are doing muscle ups and stuff, and we're cheering them on. And then there's other people that can't even do a box jump or whatever, right?
They're
so
still
it's
working
just
on their
that's
ring
right.
rows
But
or
everybody's
whatever.
here doing the same thing to the level and ability that they can.
Yep, exactly. And so, what would you say to someone that's on the fence about joining?
Why bother waiting? I mean, this is a family place. It's not intimidating. It's not full of you know, people with no shirts and ripped bodies up and down. Yes, there's a few. I'm not one, as you can tell. But it's a really family oriented place where people come in, get to have a lot of fun, and work hard on our fitness goals, and just do what we do.
Heck yeah. And then make sure you come into the 5 a.m. so you can see Bracken, or come on a Saturday morning, right?
Yes, those are the only times you'll see me.
Unless you decide to do a double a day like that one day, right? Come in
Yeah,
at
well,
5.
that's when I hurt myself. So we don't do that anymore.
No. But Bracken, congratulations again for being November's Member of the Month.
Thank you.